Hi,
Well, what's happening?
how are you?
All good, all good. Just chilling.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries at all. No problem. There's not. I have plenty of time, so it's it's
Well,
no
I
problem.
imagine, I imagine that everyone is like, "Oh, could we do an interview now that you've nothing to do?" You know?
Yeah. It's. I've done about 10 or 12 of these FaceTime kind of interviews now over the last few days. So it's not reminded. It gets a day on a bit for me, so I'm happy
Well,
to do it.
this is true. This
So,
is true. How are you finding quarantine?
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
Yeah,
it. I'm gonna be honest. There's no point of being doom and gloom about it. I'm never at home. I'm always away in training camp,
yeah,
and for the majority of the year, I'm gone. So the fact that I'm here, I'm home and I have time to do things which I don't usually have time to do. It's brilliant
yeah.
out. It's good, isn't it? It's unfortunate, but you got to look at the positives from it, and that's what I'm kind of doing.
Absolutely. And you have a gym in your house, do you?
Yeah. Thank God.
You're,
Thank God. I
you're, do
invested
you
in that.
see?
I invested in that last year, 2 years ago now. So I'm lucky.
Yeah, that's the one thing with all the interviews that I've been doing so far. Everyone that has a gym at home is like, "Oh, this is like so nice," and then
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't, they're like, "It's terrible." But obviously, it was unfortunate with the fight. You know,
Yeah.
how has it been since then? Obviously, you were over there and everything, and then having to fly back. I imagine that was not the best.
It was a bit crazy, if I'm honest. The fact that it done 10 weeks training camp. Uh,
Hmm.
you pay for sparring partners, you pay for hotels, you pay for my own accommodation, flights back and forth. I went to Marbella and everything during training camp, and there was an awful lot of cost to it. And then at the end, to be told you're not getting paid because the fight is cancelled, isn't a nice feeling. But at the same time, I don't look on the negative on it
Hmm.
because I invested time in myself. I invested all that money in myself to make myself a better fighter. So I can't really complain. And then at the same time, there's much more people who are in a worse position than me, much more fighters who are in a worse position than me. That they're probably living check to check. I'm
Hmm.
lucky enough that I'm financially stable already from professional boxing and boxing in general because in the amateurs I was smart enough with the money I was earning. But no, it wasn't nice. I was there and there was so much uncertainty from the moment we landed. We landed on the Wednesday. The fight was cancelled on Thursday evening. We landed
Oh,
Wednesday morning. So, I started doing a wee bit of training. Press conference was told before the press conference that there would be boxing in front of an empty arena. I was like, it's going to be shit, but you know what?
yeah.
I need to get paid. So,
Yeah.
well, it's not necessarily that you need to get paid. You want to get paid for your work you
Yeah, of
put in.
course.
But I was like, I'm a fighter, I fight, and this is the reason I'm here. I'm ready. It doesn't matter if the arena is packed or empty. I boxed in many empty arenas as an amateur, so this won't be a problem. So I was up for it. I kind of built myself up for it then. And then that evening, I was actually doing an interview on the phone, and Jamie was on the phone, and they looked at me and went, the fight's off. I just grabbed his chicken wings right away and started eating. So that's 100%.
Good
100%.
stuff. Glad to hear there was food involved. But would you agree that, like, if you're going to sign up for the sport, or sign up to be a professional fighter, that you need to learn to be adaptable because there's so many variables that can go into a fight not going ahead, whether it's someone not making weight or someone getting injured in fight camp or
Mm.
whatever it is.
I think that's a very, very important thing. You need to be adaptable to any situation, and that goes for inside the ring and outside the ring. You know what I mean? I believe I'm very adaptable at both. Whether I'm in the ring, I can change the stances, change the stay, whatever it is. But when I was outside the ring, I have surrounded myself with a good team, and I have a
Hmm.
good kind of mature head on my shoulders. That I know that things might not always go to plan. Even like if you look at last year, where the Fela was supposed to be the Russian and then that was
Hmm.
cancelled, and I had to get in there to fight her in, and I had to keep myself mentally ready and mentally prepared because I could have easily overlooked the next guy, and I didn't. I kind of just adapted and
Hmm.
adjusted myself and went in and put it on performance. So there's many things in professional boxing. People not making weight, people just not coming,
Yeah.
fights being cancelled, shows being cancelled. And then you get a pandemic in the middle of it all, and you're like, oh, well, sure, it's boxing, you know what I mean? This is the shit that happens, so you got to expect it.
Absolutely. You mentioned there about, having a good team around you, and it's kind of like a common thread that we see with young fighters coming up, and whether it's they kind of are sort of taken back by like the glitz and the glamour of this new professional career and everything is new to them.
Mm.
How important is it to have that, or how do you recognize who the right team or the right people are to have around you?
I think, you know, it depends on the person. Some people are just more gullible than others. You need to
Hmm.
have close people to you who've been there from the start. And not just yes men, not people who are going to tell you you're amazing all day, because that's never going to work for you, and you'll be found out sooner rather than later. I
Hmm.
know if I'm even sparring bad, or if I'm doing something different, my dad or Jamie will tell me you're fucking up here.
Hmm.
Stop. You know what I mean? You're messing things up, or you're doing this wrong. Even like, if I spar well and I send them a spar, if I think I spar well and I send them a spar and they'll be right back, no, that's shit. We expect better. And that's just the way it is. You got to be honest
Yeah.
with me. Tell them to be honest with me. So it's good that they are. But you see a lot of people now, just in it for the party, in it for the lifestyle, in it to be a
Hmm.
boxer, and they surround themselves with people who are of similar kind of thought. I'd seen kind of the dark side of boxing when I watched Jamie's career, because it was so stop start, and he was screwed over many many
Mm.
times, and it was like, it's not nice. It easily turned me away from wanting to be a boxer, um, but it kind of put a more wiser head on my shoulders where I went into the pro game. I made sure when I started from the debut, I made sure I had my nutritionist, I made sure I had my own physio, and all the right people around me were, they were just there, and everything was right, so it wasn't needing to be fixed. It was already fixed before it got broken, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, Whereas people down the lane, they start to bring in nutritionists and all this here, when they should have had it from the start, and they should have had maybe a better awareness of it at the start. I don't have any hangers on. I don't have anybody. I keep my team small. I don't like a big team. You see too many much people just shouting and wanting to be involved, but
Yeah.
they're not actually benefiting what is going on. There is good. There's good times when you have people who are shouting, which it's actually probably helping the nerves, helping different things. But you need to have people around you who have your best interests at heart.
Well, because it's one of the most probably recognized traits of you and Jamie. Really, of the kind of Conlan brand and Conlan family is that you're so humble and there's a lot of humility there, and you
Mm.
still have, with all the kind of successes that you've both had in and out of the ring. There's still a level of kind of down to earthness, that people
Yeah.
kind of see, and I think that's why a lot of the fans do get behind you. Was it important for you or is it important to you to stay grounded and stay connected to, where you're from, basically?
100%. I know I always say it, and I've said this in many interviews before. If I ever got too big for my boots, my father would hit me a few digs to the head. He would. I'm not lying. It's not in my DNA to be like that. And for me, to be honest, I'm just a normal kid. I'm like everybody else. I'm someone who's just kind of dedicated to myself. I dedicated myself to my sport, and I knew I was good at it, and I had that kind of positive mentality from a young age. But I also had positive people around me, like my father, like my brother,
Hmm.
who were always kind of giving me that confidence, which I have. So that all comes from just family, I think, and just the right people around you. It doesn't have to be family; it just has to be the right people around you. I know that when I was younger, I was falling into the wrong paths, and that showed me that I am just a normal person. Because if I was a superhuman, I wouldn't even have been falling down them kind of paths. Or if I was
Yeah.
someone special, it wouldn't have been my route. But it's the route that every normal kid kind of starts to fall down at some stage, and it's whether or not you can get back out of that rut. So being humble, being down to the earth, it's something I try to do. I don't try to be like that. It's just who I am.
You mentioned there being younger. Can you remember a moment or recognizing something in yourself where you kind of said, this is for me? Like, was it from let's say, a competition element? Did you
Mm.
enjoy winning, or was it the fighting element? Like, at what point can you remember being like, this is the path that I want to take?
I think right. So there's a few different things here, right? So when I when when I was like the first boy one or whatever it is, when your first kind of proper year of competition. I won
Yeah.
everything. I didn't lose. I won all Ireland's, won Ulsters, won Antrams, won the both novices, all this year stuff. And I knew from then I was good, and I was a cocky little shit. And like I used to like laugh and stick my tongue out at people because I had that hit and not be hit kind of style. And I knew I was good from a young age. If I'm honest, I'm not going to say I didn't. I got to some age and knew I was young. I always knew I was good, but I was only in it because Jamie was in it, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to be like my big brother. He's 5 years older than me. I know he doesn't look it, but he is. He's 5 years older than me, and people say the same age. It does my head in, but he, he was saying so. If around that age, from around say 10 to about 16, if Jamie had walked away from boxing, more than likely I probably would have walked away from boxing if I'm honest.
Wow.
But then when I hit 16, I got selected for the Commonwealth Youth Games, and I was getting involved in like taking drugs and stuff at that age, from a younger age, but up to that age, and I was told you could drug test it here, and then I went, fuck that, I'm not doing that no more because I don't want to. If my father knew I was doing that stuff, he would kill me. So
Yeah.
that's why I said I stopped doing that there, and because I got selected, I knew it was good then, and I didn't do too well in the competition. I lost in the quarterfinals on a countback, but it wasn't anything special. So I knew it was good then, and then obviously going to international tournaments, I says, oh well, I can give it a go. Then I hit 17, and I got these rosary beads tattooed on me. And my dad says to me, he says to me, I knew I was going to be a boxer from then anyway. It didn't really matter, but he said to me, "What do you do?" Like he went crazy. He didn't think I was going to get these. He thought I was getting a tattoo on my arm. And then I got the tattoo, and he came down the stairs and went, "What the fuck have you done, man? Crazy!" And he said, "You'll never get a job now because remember you couldn't get jobs. You had tattoos on show."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He goes, "I never get a tattoo now, or never get a job now." He says, "What are you talking about? I don't need a job. I'm going to be a professional boxer." And then I had to just stick with it. Then I had to run with it. So that
Well,
was it.
that's such a perfect story for when people are like success books or how to like make it in business. They're always like, don't have a plan B. It has to be just plan A. That's it.
That's all it was. Just that. I remember when I was young, like I used to say I wanted to be a lawyer, and then when I was in school, I'm actually smart enough, but like in school I just didn't have the attention. It was just sport. I love sports so much. So it was like I was always away with boxing or always doing something in boxing. And when I came to school, I was like, fuck that. But like I wish if I look back now, and if I had any advice for younger kids, it would be to give your education, the full consciousness, because I wish I could have all the stuff I had in school. I have all them grades which I should have been having, but it is what it is. I live and learn.
Absolutely. It's very interesting when you say about that point where it could have gone one way and you chose boxing.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'm wondering, if we look at like life purpose and why we're here and, people who are meant to do certain things in life, do you believe that you were here to be a boxer?
I couldn't see myself doing anything else. If I'm honest, I really couldn't. I couldn't see myself doing something different because it was just something I knew I was good at. I knew that, it's if you can make it that kind of pinnacle, you can earn a good kind of living from it. And to be honest, that's what I'm in it for. I'm in it because I know I can earn good money. Do I love boxing in terms of loving it? No, because boxing doesn't love you back. You see all these people who leave the sport with less than what they came into the sport with, in terms of their health, in terms of their brain function, everything like that. So, it is a dangerous sport, and will I do it for another 10 years? No, not a hope in hell. I'll get in and get out, earn my money, and live happily ever after.
That sounds like a good plan. Can you remember a point where you kind of sat back and went, I can't believe this is my life, or where the kind of success that you've had has sort of like just kind of came to the forefront and you were like, this is my life? Or are you still are you still in it? Do you think you'll be like 70 and then you'll
I'm
look
still
back
in
and
it. I'm still in it. I can't sit back and enjoy it. I know I've achieved a lot, like in terms of the amateur game, and will achieve a lot in terms of the professional game. The the kind of only time where I can think, I went wow was after London 2012, when I got bronze and I came back, and overnight, like I was what 20, I think it was, and overnight I was like a proper celebrity in Ireland, and obviously going the coppers getting gold cards and stuff, and I was like, what the hell's going on here?
I didn't know that.
So it was after then. Jesus, I remember the bouncers and coppers giving me like about 25 gold cards. I had like by paying them, I was trying to give them to people.
That's when you know you've made it. Can you hear me okay?
We froze.
Can you hear me okay? Hang on, wait now.
Jesus.
It was too. Can you hear me now?
Brilliant.
I'm gonna. Can you hear me now?
Oh, we're going slow. I can hear you now. It's going slow. It's going very slow.
Okay, wait now. Let's try and see if we can fix
I
this.
can hear you.
What about now? Okay, good stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool stuff. So yeah, that's a mad. Yeah, if you've got a card to go card to coppers, you've definitely made it.
Yeah. There's a lag.
Is there that when do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close it down and go back in. Stay there. Stay there.
Oh,
okay, let's get him back in. Let me find Mick here. This is the worst thing ever. Oh, there's too many people. I'm not going to be able to find him. Mick, if you can hear this, log out and come back in, and then it should come up to the top and I'll be able to see you then. They need to fix this. Instagram Live. There we go. Right. Adding you back in. There we go.
that's us now.
It's the worst. It's the worst thing. I was doing an interview with Dave Allen the other night and it just kept freezing and we kept trying to go back in. It was terrible. Mick can't hear me.
It seems like it's still not 100%, but you can still see it.
You can see it, but I think it's after. We'll do it. We'll figure it out, right? What I was going to ask you is, if you were to have the same end point in your career, you still end up here, but you could go back and change something. What would you change, or would you change anything?
No, I wouldn't change anything. Everything has happened for a reason, and I'm in the position I am now because of everything that's happened. So there's not a thing I would change at all.
Good stuff. So obviously, there's a lot of like excitement around MTK at the moment, your management company, especially with all the shows and the volume of shows that are going on, and the amount of like new guys that are getting signed, and it's just sort of like a really exciting time for boxing. I feel it's starting to get like, it's obviously always been a popular sport, but I think it's a younger audience now is starting to attend shows and take more of an interest again.
It's class at the minute. Like MTK is kind of just took over the boxing world really, with the connections at Top Rank, Matchroom, Warren. They have connections everywhere, and it's unbelievable for the fighters because there's just opportunities beyond opportunities, and it's amazing at the minute for every fighter involved with a team.
You've obviously, I know, because obviously you had an extensive amateur career, but when you look back at kind of just boxing as a whole, how has it changed, or what are the biggest changes that you've recognized in the sports?
Well, I know that in terms of professional boxing, when I won bronze in 2012, there was no money in the game. No, not like the money that's in it now. And if I'm honest, I put that down to Joshua, just because his kind of appeal to the fans, and how the kind of general fan of sport loves him, and the general public love him. And he's got that "stay humbleness, inspiring the next generation" kind of slogan he always uses, which he has, and he's brought in bigger money, bigger sponsors, and more eyes to the game. So it's raised the kind of profile of boxing. I think a lot of us have to be kind of thankful for that, even though I
Mm.
still think, I'm not saying I think he's the best or anything, but I think what he's done for boxing is better than anybody else in the recent times.
Yeah, I'd agree, absolutely. When you were growing up, who were the guys that kind of, I know obviously Jamie, your brother, was a huge
Yeah.
influence, but in terms of, not even boxers, but who inspired you? Who were the people who stood out and kind of made you want to be better?
Um, um, my first one would definitely be Prince Nassim. Um,
Yeah.
I love Nas from a kid. That's why I always kind of had that hands low, sticking my tongue out at people, and just being a messer in the ring. I was just watching him, and even down to this day, like my ring walks and stuff, I always try to do something crazy because Nas always done something crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so
You want to
he was
flip the
definitely.
ring next, though?
Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not gonna try it. No way. Not on my nail. Um, and then maybe if I was to go back to boxers, someone who I always kind of loved was Pacquiao.
Yeah.
What an unbelievable fighter! He was my
Yeah.
favorite fighter of my generation.
So how does it make you feel then with the jump now where you're people's inspiration? Like there's young kids that are looking up to you and being like, I want to be like Mick Conlan when I grow up.
I don't even think of it. I don't. I've
Oh,
never.
well, I was
I've
going to
never
ask,
said
is there
that
a
thought
pressure?
about it.
Would you feel a little pressure in that?
Nah, I wouldn't say pressure. I just because I am who I am. I'm not. If people want to look up to me and I have to be a kind of a role model for someone, I think I'm already doing a good job. Maybe I curse a little bit too much, but other than that, I'm not. I'm not. I don't live a bad lifestyle. Um. I don't go out and party every night or
Hmm.
get up to trouble. I did when I was younger, and everybody does. Everybody's going to kind of do it. But I'm a family man. I'm a down to earth person, and people want to look up to me. So be it. Brilliant. Thank you. But if not, no, it's not really going to bother me. But if I am inspiring another generation, people younger than me, and people from my area, I'm very very grateful. I'm very honoured to do so.
What's been the proudest moment?
Proudest moment. Oh, it's a hard one. Proudest moment would probably be winning the world title in the amateurs,
Mm.
being the first Irishman to ever do it, and the only Irishman to ever do it still. Um, Most memorable moment would probably be walking out in the Falls Park,
Yeah.
or else winning the bronze in 2012. It's one of the two. It's very hard. I have so much kind of highlights already in my whole career, which
Well,
is hard to
does
pick
it?
one.
Do they kind of the more accolades that you kind of accumulate over the years? Does it get less special, or are they just all different?
Nah, just all different. Always special. Every one of them is special. Um, when you're doing a St. Patrick's Day in New York, it's just unbelievable. You're walking out in front of your home fans in the Falls Park. Unbelievable when you're winning a world title as an amateur, winning the bronze medal as an amateur. All these kind of things, they're all kind of equal in their own right. You know what I mean? There's
Hmm.
nothing better than the other one, even though, I think my best achievement would have to be because there has never been another Irish male world champion. I would say that's definitely been my best achievement. And even if, when I win titles as a pro and stuff, the world amateur champion will still not be beaten because no one's ever done it, and
Hmm.
no one hasn't done since. So, I think that's always going to be my best achievement.
When all is said and done, and you hang up the gloves, and you're like going into old age, and people are sitting at a bar talking about Mick Conlan, how would you like to be remembered?
I never thought of that question at all. Um, I've never thought of that question at all. I don't know. However they wish to remember me is how they remember me. So if just a nice down there person who achieves. I'm not a brash, arrogant, cocky dickhead or anything, so I have nothing to worry about there. But um, I don't know what I would like to do. Like I would like to make a change in terms of my
Mm-hmm.
city and stuff. Obviously, with the mental health and how it is there. If I remembered for that more than what I remember from my boxing career, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. And is there further plans for the mental health campaign? I know before a couple of weeks ago there was
There's
like
gonna be loads. It was
loads.
just we had a big event planned. Um, like we were going to do a public event and get all people kind of from the ages of like say 10, 11, because there's people at that age doing it, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Up and do like a big sports kind of day event, but just talking and loads of different things, yoga and all in it. And I was organising all this stuff myself, but I've obviously had to put hold on it because of the coronavirus. So once that's all cleared up, I'll get back on the horse right away and get back working on that because it's very, very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the biggest killers in the world, but especially here in Belfast, it's terrible. And I know so many people throughout the years who've done it. So if I can make a change in that, or make a kind of little dent in that, or change one person's life, I'll be really happy.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, thank you so much. I won't keep it too much longer.
Mm.
I appreciate the time.
Good stuff.
I've one last question. What are you going to bake next? I'm seeing all this baking going on.
Go ahead. So for Easter, my signature is banana bread. I'm unbelievable banana bread. It's actually more like banana cake. It just is that nice. But I've done a good few now. I've done a Victoria sponge. I've done a rainbow cake. I've done cheesecakes. But Shauna wants a cheesecake for Easter. Cheesecake's beginners. Like I can do cheesecake unbelievably already. So I think I'm going to do a white chocolate Snickers cheesecake. So that's what's next.
Good stuff. Sounds delicious. Well, listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate your
Good
time.
stuff.
And hopefully the next time I see you, we'll be able to do a proper interview.
No problem. Definitely, 100%. Listen,
Brilliant.
take
Thanks
care,
so
stay
much.
safe. All the
Yeah, see you,
best.
Mick. Thanks, Emil. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, guys.